My name is Mike Butcher. I'm a journalist with TechCrunch, a big breaking news blog about startups and venture capital. I'm here at Sime MIA to get in touch with the Latin American tech scene and also the local Miami tech scene, find out what's going on, talk to entrepreneurs and investors about the projects they're working on. Well, I think what you've got is kind of neutral ground here in Miami, and you can attract some of the best people from the US, of course, and you can also attract a lot of interesting people from Latin America. And in fact, I'm from Europe as well, and Miami in wintertime is a good draw as well. But that aside, I think you've got a kind of a neutral city here to come to that everyone knows and loves, and rather than be going to one particular country. I don't think that you have to go to Silicon Valley to build a company. You go to Silicon Valley when you want to scale something that you have built somewhere else, I think. People in Europe don't necessarily build just to be able to go to Silicon Valley. They build for whatever their market is or the niche. And when you want to scale up and when you want to raise a lot of money, that's probably Silicon Valley is a good place to go. But until that point, you don't necessarily have to do that. Most of the big billion-dollar companies that will be emerging in the next few years will not be built in Silicon Valley. They'll be built in emerging markets like Latin America or China or Africa, perhaps. There are, of course, advantages to Silicon Valley that don't exist anywhere else, the sheer cluster of technology companies and investors. But as long as you can get good people and you can get some kind of investment wherever you are, stay where you are and do it. I think what you've got to do is you've got to look to investors who've already invested in other media companies that do similar kinds of things, and either go to them or look at their investment strategy about how that company is scaling up and doing what it's doing. Reminds me of particularly, for instance, of Crane TV, which is an arts, culture and travel startup producing 30 videos a month, quite high quality, and has investors. So you've got to look to companies like that and see what they've done, look at their strategy, and see what they've done, and to some extent that will inform your own strategy. Oh yes, definitely. I think there's a lot more money going into social enterprise and social investment now because those kinds of projects can actually scale up now rather than stay in the old-fashioned sort of charity sector. So it's much more about social enterprise startups now being scalable, content-based companies being scalable. So that's what it's all about.